Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel, Merry Meet Lovely Witches. My name is Rain, and thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, please feel free to subscribe and ring that notification bell so that you can be notified whenever I make a video. So, recently there was what I'm going to talk about today is recently there was an article posted about 11 pagan habits that need to die. And so I figured it's been kind of stirring things up in the community, and I've seen it around Facebook. I figured we'd talk about it today. I will link the article in the description box below so that you can give it a read and let me know what you think. And if you see me looking this way, I am looking at my computer because that is where the article is pulled up because I'm recording on my phone. All right, let's go ahead and get into it. So the first one is Pagan Standard Time. So that's this idea that basically witches are never on time. Witches are always late. The ritual's always going to start 15 minutes after the scheduled time. Always schedule your ritual 15 minutes prior to when you want people to arrive because witches are never on time. Yeah, I can agree that that probably should go away. For people who are so in tune with the moon phases, the seasons of the year, magical timing, days of the week, hours, where all the planets are, why can't we be on time? We all have phones. We can put the ritual time in our phone and look and see what the traffic is like so that we can get there on time. Obviously, things are going to come up. There's a big accident on the bridge and you can't get, from Portland to Vancouver, for example, because you're stuck on the freeway. Okay, call the host. The person or people who are putting on that ritual, putting on that class, putting on that event, have spent their time and spent money and everything else to go ahead and put this on for the community. The least you could do is show up on time. We had a rule in Covenant I was in that if you were late by a certain amount of time, you waited outside. And sure, you can come in during the potluck, and cool. Or if it was a class, well, you missed that class if you were a certain amount late, just like a regular class. But yeah, there's no reason why we need to just all be late for no reason. Number 2, snobbish ritual critique. That goes without saying. Don't be an a-hole. You're not putting on the ritual. You're not publicly up there in front of people doing the thing. Then don't critique it. Don't write somebody and be like, hey, I would have done this, and I would have done this, and I would have done... Well, if you would have done all those things, you go ahead and do it. Make your own, and don't come to mine. Plain and simple. I mean, no. You just don't do that. I mean, you can say, hey... I mean, if you have a valid concern like, hey, at the potluck, do you think we could label things if they have gluten or not, or if they're vegan or not? Okay, we'll take that suggestion into consideration and see what we can do about it. Okay, but yeah, don't critique. Don't get uptight and snotty. That's not nice. Number 3, pointing a weapon at somebody as they are entering ritual. I haven't watched The Craft in a long time, but apparently they did that on The Craft. Well, I mean, no, we really shouldn't be patterning our practice based on a movie because it's a movie, and movies, for the most part, are fiction. The Craft was definitely fiction. Athames are used to direct energy. They are not used to point at people. That might make somebody uncomfortable. That might feel a little threatening. And especially if somebody is new and they are like, why are you pointing a knife at me when I'm first walking into ritual? No, I'm not going to cut myself and like, no, and drink the blood and the wine and the, no, not. Let's not, okay? Let's not. Um, Common sense, y'all, common sense. Number 4, treating paganism as a religion. So, in my understanding, and how I feel is that paganism is an umbrella term that basically means all of the religions that are not under the umbrella of Christian religions. So, Wiccan, all, just anything that's not Christian. And I don't have a problem with it. If somebody has a specific religion that they follow with it, underneath the umbrella of paganism, then, that's their religion and that's cool. I am an eclectic pagan. I am not Wiccan. I am not a specific tradition or anything like that. So, I personally think that I kind of wish that when you have to check a box of what religion you are, like, pagan was an option, not other. Dating websites, pagan. Please let us pick that. Not other. My religion is not other. Just like my, somebody's gender identity is not other. There's things. Let's use them. Did I mention that I recorded this the first time, but it was in time lapse or like high speed mode and there was no sound? Yeah. Neglecting the environment, I think is where we are. Yes. Neglecting the environment. That goes without saying. If you are part of an earth-based spiritual path, you shouldn't neglect the environment. You kind of, want to know where your herbs are coming from. You kind of want to know where your oils are coming from. You kind of want to know where, you don't want to, you want to recycle, you don't want to litter. Common sense, burning maybe a little bit cleaner of a candle, that kind of thing. Understandably so, and I think this is in another topic too, but understandably so, everybody's financial era, is not the same. So, if I have to buy essential oils from Amazon because I need one for something, or if I feel that I need to buy them, then that's what I'm going to do. But ultimately, growing your own may not be an option, but if it is, it's the best one. Or knowing where it came from. So, for example, when I started back on my path, I didn't know that sage and Palo Santo were not the greatest things to use anymore, like for cleansings and stuff like that, because they are kind of being depleted. And while I'm not going to contribute to that by just throwing them away, I'm going to use what I have. I am going to look for other options that are more readily available. Also, I think something that goes along with that, to be honest, is looking at what's readily available in your area. If there's a field and it's an abundance of sage in it in your area, cool. But if you live in an area where that doesn't grow, look what herbs do. There it is. Expecting something for nothing. My high priestess, back in the day, made a very good point. When you get a reading, when you take a class, when you have somebody do work for you, These are things, and you pay them. That is an exchange of energy. You are exchanging the energy that you put forth to make the money for the energy that the person is putting forth to do the thing. Because it takes energy to do the thing, just like it took energy to make the money. There is a wealth of information on the internet. Absolutely. And it's there for free. But don't sit there and scoff at, oh my God, that class at that shop is $25. When it's an incense making class where the supplies are included. Where do you expect them to pull those supplies from, darling? For the sake of, being not offensive, they're not just pulling them from under their couch. The same with rituals. Rituals need candles a lot of time. If this is a public ritual, if this is something that they're doing for a lot of people, candles and, little paper cups for cakes and wine or whatever. Little things to make the crafts that you do in the ritual. Oils, just supplies in general. Those cost money. So if they're asking for a donation and you can, then you should. And the time that they're taking, to put this on for people. I really enjoy seeing rituals where they're like, hey, there's a suggested donation of $5 to $10, but no one's going to be turned away for lack of funds. Okay, cool. I appreciate that, because as a person who's on disability, sometimes I have funds. Sometimes I have a lack of funds. When I have an abundance, I give. That brings more abundance my way. When I don't have it, I might bring something for the pot. I'll bring something for the potluck anyway, but I'll still bring something for the potluck. Like, I will figure out a way how to contribute. I'll volunteer if I can't afford to go on the excursion and I want to go and they have an opportunity. Hey, well, if you help us set up, then you can go for free or discounted rate. I'm going to do that. Pure and simple. I should have brought some water over here. Excuses for abuse and bad behavior. We don't even need to touch on this because abuse, not good. Bad behavior, not good. Don't do that. It's not cool. And don't cover for people who do. I'm not even gonna, Number 8, dressing and acting like we're going to a Renaissance fair. You do you, boo. Really? Do what you want to do. I don't care. If you want to dress like you are going to a Ren fair, do it. If you want to dress like Darth Vader, do it. Just don't Darth Vader voice in the middle of my ritual, okay? That's all I ask. If you want to dress punk, if you want to dress goth, if you want to dress in jeans and a t-shirt, if you want to wear robes, if you want to wear a sundress, if you want to wear something from Fashion Nova, I don't care. And especially if it's your ritual, you do what you want. You do you. I can see where, maybe being a little too distracting, like if your dress takes up half the circle, maybe tone it down a little bit, I guess, but that's just, being polite. That's not telling you how you need to be dressing. I don't care. And as long as you're acting like a nice person and you're respectful and you're not an a-hole, act how you want. Number 9. Spreading fake lore. Is that like fake news? Am I allowed to say fake news on YouTube? I don't even know. I've just said it twice, so we'll see what happens. I don't know. Everything's based on some kind of mythology, and none of us know because none of us were there. So, you telling me that this one thing is the truth, I'll ask you if you were there. I mean, science. Obviously, we can believe in. We know science happens and happened, but just use your noggin and, don't be gullible. Calling all our pets familiars. You call your pet whatever you want, but personally, in my opinion, all 5 of your cats and your Labradoodle and your gecko are probably not all your familiars. Not all of them. No, probably not. Usually a familiar bond is something that is, you have a bond with that one animal, not the whole species of that one animal, but that one animal. Fufu, your dog, and you have a familiar bond. But Lala and Salem and Charlie are not all for your familiars too. My opinion, again, opinions are like, that thing that we all have. And then, stealing practices from indigenous people and marketing them or making them marketable or selling the pieces. Cultural appropriation, don't do it. Don't take something that is not of your culture and then try to sell it to make $1. That is not okay. Don't run around in the dress of an indigenous culture because you think it's, because you think you just can. Not really much needs to be said about that, I guess. You can, and the article makes a point. If you want to learn the religion of a specific culture and you want to go you want somebody, and you pick somebody who is of that culture and you take their classes, that exchange of energy, and you learn, and you don't just take little bits and pieces and then go and, sell, the thing on Etsy. That's fine. You can certainly learn about the culture if you and the practices if you feel called to do so, but you should learn it from a person of that culture and ask, always, even asking, some people are just like, yeah, fine, you can learn, that's cool, but there are some cultures or there are some religious practices where you can't just call yourself that thing just because you learned about it. So that is that. I do believe, yeah. So that is all for that. Like I said, I will leave the article linked in the description box below so you can take a look at it. I would love to hear your comments and what you thought. Any comments or questions or anything for me, please just go ahead and leave them in the comment section and I will, of course, absolutely respond. You can find me on all the socials. I am on Facebook, Amory Rain, Instagram, Amory Rain, Twitter, Amory_Rain. And until next time, blessed be. Bye.